everyone, welcome to DIY with Nancy. Today I'm super excited to share with you my recipe on how I make coconut pudding. Now coconut pudding is a coconut and egg yolk tart. The texture is dense on the inside, but it has this like creamy egg on the top, and the way it's made, it's super easy and so delicious, mouth-watering really, and I can't wait to share this recipe of my coconut pudding step by step. So let's get to baking. To make the coconut pudding, you will need, to start, you're going to make the syrup. You'll need 3/4 cups of granulated sugar and 1/2 cup of water. Next, you'll need 8 egg yolks, 3/4 cups of shredded coconut, 2 tablespoons of melted butter that is unsalted. And to grease your forms, you'll need 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter at room temperature and 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar. And here I have the forms for the coconut pudding. And these are the ingredients you'll need to make this recipe. The first step in making coconut pudding is preparing the syrup for the mixture. So I'm going to start off by placing 3/4 cups of granulated sugar in a medium-sized saucepan and 1/2 cup of water. And I'm just going to give this a quick stir before I turn on the heat. Now I'm going to place the heat on a low to medium heat. Let the mixture come to a boil, and once it comes to a boil, at that point you're going to turn off the heat and you're going to set it aside, and we're going to move on to the next step. But I'll show you what the syrup looks like when it comes to a boil. Now, as you can see, the sugar syrup has formed. It's come to a boil. It's been in the saucepan for about 3 to 4 minutes. Now at this point, you want to turn off your heat, let it cool, and let's move on to the next step. For the next step, I'm going to prepare the forms by greasing them with butter and sugar. And I have here the 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter at room temperature and 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar. You'll also need a pastry brush, and I also have here a sheet of parchment paper, just because I'm going to make a mess with the sugar and the butter. So I want to just place it right on top of the parchment paper. So I'm going to start by individually placing or greasing butter on each of the forms using a pastry brush. So I'm going to just take a little bit of the butter and I'm going to grease the form. Make sure you grease it at the bottom and the sides right to the top, just as I'm doing here. I'm going to continue greasing the forms, and then I'll show you the next step. Now, once you have the forms greased with butter, you're going to place sugar in each of the forms, or individually, just like this. I'm just going to pour it in. And I'm going to take another form, place it right on top. You're going to take the sugar, shake it on 2 of the forms, just to coat it with sugar around the butter. And I'm going to do the same thing with the next one. I'm going to continue coating the sugar in each of the form, and then I'll show you the next step. Now that we have the forms with butter and coated with sugar, I'm going to move on to the next step. For the next step, I'm going to strain the 8 egg yolks into a medium-sized bowl. I'm going to take a strainer, and I'm placing the 8 egg yolks in the strainer. And with a spatula, I'm just going to mix them. And so I'm going to strain it through the strainer, obviously, and placing it into the bowl, just like this. And we have quite a bit underneath, so I'm just going to remove it. Once you've strained the eggs, you're going to add 3/4 cups of coconut, unsweetened, and the 2 tablespoons of melted butter, unsalted. Gonna mix it to combine. Now, once you've combined the eggs, coconut, and butter mixture, at this point, you're going to add the sugar syrup that we formed earlier, which is now at a room temperature. You don't want to place it in the egg mixture while it's hot. So I'm going to pour it and mix it at the same time. Now, once you have the syrup in there, you're going to give it a quick mix. I'm going to combine everything. You're going to get a liquid form with the chunks of coconut. Now that I have the mixture well combined, I'm ready to pour it into the greased forms that we've greased earlier with sugar and butter. So let's move on to the next step. Now for the next step, we're going to fill the mixture into the forms. And here I have a deep pan, which is about 3 inches deep. I'm going to place the forms, once they're filled with the mixture, onto the pan here, and then I'm going to prepare a water bath. So you're going to need about 4 cups of boiling water. Of course, I'm going to show you. So we're going to start off by filling the forms. Now I'm going to place the mixture into a measuring cup with a spout, which will be easy to pour into the forms. So I'm going to place the mixture into the measuring cup. I'm just going to use a spatula. Make sure I get all the mixture in. There we go. Now all there's left to do is to pour the mixture into the forms. And I'm going to place it right into the form, right to 3/4 full. We're just filling up the last one here. So I've used 8 egg yolks, so it pretty much gives you 8 coconut quidings. So you get 8 in total. So 1 egg per coconut quiding. So now for the next step, I'm going to place each of the forms with the mixture into the pan, which is 3 inches deep, because we're going to place the water bath before we place it in the oven. And now I'm going to place 4 cups of boiling water. So I have 4 cups of boiling water in the measuring cup here, and I'm going to pour it very slowly into the pan before I place it into the oven. So it covers the forms about halfway. The coconut quiding is ready to go into the oven. I'm going to bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 minutes or until it's lightly golden brown. And then I'll show you what they look like when they come out of the oven. Here are the quidings out of the oven. They were in the oven for 45 minutes baking. You could see that they each have a light golden brown color. And now at this point, I'm going to let them sit here for 5 minutes. And then I'll show you the next step. For the next step, once the quidings have cooled for about 5 minutes, I'm actually not waiting for the quidings itself to cool. I wanted the form to cool so I can handle it. Now we're ready to transfer it into cupcake liners. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly what I've done here. I've started to line up my cupcake liners. Now these are just regular cupcake liners, just like this. And what I've done is to place the quiding on top, I've just flattened the cupcake liner, just as I'm doing here. So I've just done one of these, just like that. And now to transfer the quidings into the cupcake liners, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside here. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. So I want to have you see exactly what I'm doing. So you take the actual form with the quindim inside, and you're gonna just press on the edges slightly. And as you're doing that, you're gonna see it starts sliding. Do you see that? Okay, so once it's loose, you're gonna take the cupcake liner, and then you're going to slightly, just like this, push it into the liner. And there you have it. That's your beautiful, delicious coconut quindim. Now I'm going to empty each of the forms and place it on the liner, just as I did this one. And I'm going to continue doing that, and I'll show you what they look like inside. Okay, come on everyone. How easy was it to make these delicious quindims made out of coconut and egg? And as you can see, it doesn't take much time at all. And of course, I'm going to have to bite into one. Coconut is my absolute favorite. I'm going to definitely bite into this. So delicious. Now you can see the egg cream and the coconut. Perfect combination. Why not give this recipe a try? And there you have it, everyone. That's my recipe for my coconut quindim tarts. I absolutely love these. As you can see, these are fairly easy to make. And the coconut on the inside, the tart is sort of flipped over onto these cupcake liners. And the reason I flatten them is because if I place them up, the cream, the egg cream that's around the tart sort of gets stuck to it. So I want to enjoy every single piece of this coconut quindim, including the creamy egg texture on the top. It's mouth-watering. It's so easy to make these. But with the coconut and the egg cream, mouth-watering. I gotta bite into it. So good. Oh my gosh. Coconut. The little part in the bottom, which is the tart, is flipped, but the creamy texture of the egg with the combination of the coconut, to die for. So good. Give this recipe a try. Let me know if you like it. And if you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care.